This isn't a coincidence. You didn't just scroll here. Allah saw how long you've been silently breaking, and He's sending help. But not in the way you expect. Watch this till the end. Your answer is hiding inside it. 1. You were a light for others while you were in the dark yourself. You didn't plan to become everyone's safe place. You didn't ask to be the one they ran to when life broke them, but somehow you became that person, the one they cried to, the one they leaned on, the one they trusted more than anyone else. And even when you had your own wounds, your own storms, your own broken pieces scattered across your heart, you still showed up, you still answered the call, you still sent the message, you still smiled, when all you wanted was someone to notice how tired you really were. You made space for everyone, while feeling like there was no space left for you. And you did it without complaint, without asking for anything in return. Not because you were strong, but because you didn't know how to abandon someone who needed help, even when you were the one silently drowning. People said, "You're so strong. You're so kind. You're always there for everyone." But none of them asked, "Who's there for you?" You made people feel safe, while you felt unsafe in your own soul. You helped them process their fears, while yours kept building in the dark. You spoke words that healed others, and went home hoping someone, anyone, would heal you. You were exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. There were nights you held the phone for hours listening to someone cry, and the moment it ended, you stared at the ceiling in silence, wondering who would hold your tears. And still, the next day, you showed up again, because that's just who you are. And the truth is, they never really saw what it cost you. They saw the strength, but not the struggle behind it. They saw the advice, but not the shaking hands that typed it. They saw the support, but never the breakdown you had right after they left. And it hurts, doesn't it, to be everyone's someone, but feel like no one's anyone, to carry so many souls, and feel like yours is slowly fading. But listen closely now, because while they may not have seen you, Allah did. While they forgot to say thank you, Allah recorded every moment. And while you were comforting His creation, He was watching you with love. He saw the night you broke down on your bedroom floor, asking Him if anyone would ever hold you the way you hold others. He saw the times you walked away from your own pain, just to sit beside someone else's. He saw how you let your heart bleed quietly, so they wouldn't bleed alone. He saw how you said, "Don't worry, I'm here," when you had no one to say that to yourself. You see, helping others while your heart is in pain is not weakness, it's a sacred strength, a kind of strength that the world doesn't understand, but your Lord does. Every time you helped someone in secret, Allah recorded it in His book. Every time you smiled through the tears, He stored that moment in the heavens. Every time you gave love without receiving it back, He sent angels to write down your name among the honored. Not one moment was missed, not one breath of patience, not one second of silent service, not one late-night message of comfort you sent when you couldn't sleep yourself. It was all seen, all known, all written, and if no one ever repays you, Allah will. If no one ever returns the favor, Allah already is, because He is Ash-Shakur, the one who multiplies every good you do. And now, the kindness you gave while you were hurting is returning. But this time, it's for you, and not just as relief, but as healing, as elevation, as peace that finally stays, because you were a light for others. When your world was dark, And now the one who created light itself is about to light your world in a way no person ever could. So hold on, not because you have to be strong, but because your story is not over. It's just the part where Allah starts writing for you. 2. You gave when it cost you. That's not forgotten in the heavens. You gave. When you had no one to give to you, you showed up for others. When no one showed up for you, you stayed. When staying meant you'd suffer silently later, you kept giving love. Even when yours was running out, you kept giving energy. When you barely had the strength to stand, and the world didn't notice, they called you selfless. They praised your patience, but no one asked what it cost you to be that kind. And still, you gave anyway. You gave time you didn't have. You gave energy while you were breaking inside. You gave your heart to people who didn't know how to hold it gently, and they called it kindness. But you knew. It was sacrifice. It was unseen, unspoken, and it was slowly draining you. But you kept doing it, not for the praise, not for their applause, not for the likes, but because your soul was wired to care, even if no one cared for you in return. There were days you showed up, when your legs felt heavy as stone. There were nights you stayed on the phone, comforting someone else, while you were silently falling apart. There were mornings you woke up with an aching chest, but still messaged, "Are you okay?" Before you asked yourself that same question, you gave when you were hurting. You gave when it felt like no one noticed. You gave when it felt like the world only took from you, but what the world didn't give you. Allah was already storing, because nothing you gave was ever wasted. Not in His sight, not in His records, not in His mercy. You see, every time you gave someone comfort, you were planting seeds in Jannah. Every time you made someone smile, while your soul was crying, you were writing a chapter of your own healing. That was being prepared by the one who heals all. Every time you were patient and chose goodness over revenge and stayed silent instead of speaking in pain, an angel wrote your name, not just once, but again and again and again. Because the world might overlook what you did in private, but the Lord of the worlds never does. He saw when you held back tears to protect someone else's emotions. He saw when you walked away instead of arguing. He saw when you forgave, even when the wound was still open. And that kind of giving, it's not just emotional, it's eternal. It echoes through the heavens. It shakes the unseen. It makes the angels whisper your name at Fajr because of what you chose to carry alone the night before. Even when you were emotionally exhausted, spiritually dry and physically done, you still found something to give. And that giving, it's what Allah calls sincerity. That moment you gave food to someone, but skipped your own meal later. That moment you sent money quietly, without telling anyone, and stayed broke until payday. That moment you said, "I'm happy for you," when deep down you were begging for the same blessing they received. That wasn't just generosity, that was ibadah, that was worship, because when you give while needing, you are closest to Allah's mercy. And when you give while breaking, you become part of a hidden group Allah loves deeply, the ones who give from their pain, who give from what little they have, who give quietly without ever asking to be seen, the ones who are invisible to people, but luminous to angels. You didn't give because you had enough. You gave because your heart couldn't turn away. And that is what Allah rewards most, the giving that hurts, the giving that leaves you more empty afterward, the giving that only He saw. And now, the reward that's coming, it will be just as quiet, just as personal, just as powerful, because Allah doesn't just match what you gave, He multiplies it. He returns your sadness as peace, your brokenness as beauty, your empty hands as full provision, your lonely nights as answered du'as. And when the time is right, He'll return everything you gave, not as a test, but as a blessing too big to keep to yourself. So don't regret being that person, the one who gave, the one who stayed soft, the one who kept loving, kept serving, kept trying, even when it hurt, because Allah saw what it cost you. And He's already building the return, and when it arrives, you'll know. You'll know it came from the one who never forgets what you did when no one else was watching. 3. The help you gave is now circling back as a divine response. You didn't just help them, you gave them a piece of your heart and walked away like it cost you nothing. But Allah saw what it really cost. And He's never forgotten. You stood with them when they had no one. You were the only message that came through. The only check-in, the only voice that asked, "Are you okay?" You were the shoulder, the support, the entire safety net. You gave time, you gave energy, you gave answers. And most of the time, you didn't even get a thank you. They moved on, they healed, they smiled again, but they never came back for you. And maybe you didn't expect them to, because you didn't help them for attention. You helped them because your soul couldn't leave them broken. You didn't need them to repay you, but sometimes, late at night, you wondered, was any of it worth it? When no one shows up for you, when your phone is silent, when your heart is heavy and help doesn't come back, you start to question if all the love you gave just disappeared into the void. But let me whisper something to you now. Nothing you gave ever disappeared. It didn't vanish. It didn't evaporate. It's just been circling in the unseen, waiting for the moment Allah commands it to return. You helped someone heal. Now healing is coming for you. You helped someone stand. Now Allah is lifting you up in ways no human could. What you thought was forgotten was never even delayed. It was simply being prepared to come back in a way that's so pure, so personal, that it will bring you to tears. Because your help didn't return through people, it's returning through Allah, and that's always better. Because people forget, people overlook, people get busy. But Allah, He remembers even the moments you forgot yourself. He remembers the message you sent at 3 a.m. just to stop someone from giving up. He remembers the food you gave, even when your own kitchen was empty. He remembers the dua you made for someone else's peace, with a heart full of your own pain. And He, Al-Karim, the most generous, is now sending your help back. But not in the way you expect, not from the people you gave it to, not from the places you looked, but from sources you never imagined. A door you forgot, a name you didn't think of, an opportunity that feels too perfect to be random. That's not a coincidence. That's your mercy, coming full circle. That's the help you gave, now turning around to find you. You see, in the unseen, your actions created waves. Every time you helped someone in pain, you were calling help toward your own soul. Every time you lifted someone in their moment of despair, you were making angels ask Allah to lift you. Even if it felt like you were forgotten by people, you were remembered in the heavens. And now, the help is circling back. Not because you chased it, not because you demanded it, but because you gave it without needing applause. And Allah never lets that kind of giving go unanswered. You planted in the soil of someone else's darkness. Now flowers are blooming in yours. You lit a candle for someone else's night. Now Allah is setting your sky on fire with light. You wiped someone's tears and never told them about your own. Now Allah is sending a peace that will wipe yours from the inside out, and the help coming to you now. It won't ask for anything in return, because the one sending it knows what you've already paid. Maybe it's not showing up how you expected. Maybe it's not loud. Maybe it's not in the form of people rushing to hold you. But it will arrive as clarity, as strength, as inner calm, as unexpected opportunities, as doors that feel like miracles. And when you least expect it, you'll realize, this is what my help became. This is what I gave, finally returning to me. Not broken, not late, but blessed, multiplied, perfectly timed. Because Allah does not return kindness in the same size it was given. He multiplies it. He wraps it in mercy, and He delivers it to your doorstep. Just when your soul whispers, I can't take much more. So don't stop giving, even if no one claps, even if no one stays. Because when you help, and you do it purely for Allah, you don't just write your name in someone's memory. You write it in the book of Allah's reward, and what's written there never fades. So let the world forget. Let people move on. Let silence fill your inbox. The help you gave is not lost. It's coming, and when it does, you'll realize it didn't come back from them. It came back from Him. And that was always the better ending. 4. You thought you were just helping, but you were being watched by Allah. You thought you were just helping, just listening, just checking in, just doing what anyone with a heart would do. But Allah was watching. You didn't see it as a big deal. You just sent a message. You just sat beside someone who was breaking. You just stayed on the call until they fell asleep. You just showed up when everyone else disappeared. But in the unseen, what you called just helping was being written as worship. In the moment, it felt normal, simple, like what any decent person would do. But that's because your heart is too humble to realize just how sacred your actions really were. You thought no one noticed. You weren't looking for attention. You weren't trying to be a hero. You were just being you. And that is what made it beautiful. Because while the world scrolls, while people rush past pain, you paused, you looked, you cared. And caring, when it's not required, is a sign of a soul that Allah has softened with mercy. You didn't do it because someone asked. You didn't do it because it would benefit you. You did it because their pain looked like something you couldn't walk away from. You did it because you know what it's like to hurt alone, to cry and wonder if anyone sees, to wish someone, anyone, would just stay. And so, you stayed for others, even while carrying your own storm, even while praying someone would do the same for you. And Allah saw every moment. He saw the tear you hid when you said, I'm here for you. He saw the exhaustion in your eyes when you answered that call anyway. He saw the heaviness in your soul when you gave peace to someone else, while begging for it yourself. Nothing went unnoticed, not a smile, not a word, not a single heartbeat of silent patience, because you weren't just helping. You were being tested, you were being watched, you were being chosen, you were being used as a vessel of mercy, a way for Allah to deliver relief to someone else. And that's not ordinary, that's divine. You see, sometimes Allah doesn't send angels to comfort people. Sometimes He sends you with your tired heart, you with your broken past, you with your silent wounds, because you know how to hold pain gently. You know how to speak when words are hard. You know how to stay, even when no one stays for you. And for that, you became his servant of relief. The person someone thanked in their dua. The reason someone didn't give up that night. The one who changed someone's story without even realizing it. And Allah saw it all. He saw when you stayed longer than you had to. He saw when you remembered someone weeks after the world forgot them. He saw how your voice became shelter, how your presence became light. You weren't just helping. You were saving lives, quietly, softly, without recognition. And now, the heavens remember your name. There were angels beside you. There were pages filling up with your actions. There was divine attention on the moment you thought no one saw. And now the reward that's coming will be just as personal, just as quiet, just as sacred. You gave them a moment of peace. Now Allah will give you a lifetime of it. You gave them hope. Now Allah will flood your life with it. You gave them light in their tunnel. Now Allah will open doors in yours. You showed up with nothing in your hands except sincerity. And sincerity is what Allah loves most. The ones who help without recording it. The ones who care without sharing it. The ones who comfort without announcing it. They are the ones Allah never stops watching. They are the ones whose reward is unlike any other. And if no one else ever says it, Allah will. I saw what you did. I never forgot your heart. And now I will honor you in a way that no one else can. So don't think your effort went unnoticed. Don't think your love was wasted. Don't think your kindness disappeared into the dark. It was seen, it was written, it was beloved, and it will come back to you. Maybe not through the people you helped, maybe not from the direction you expect, but it will return, wrapped in barakah, covered in mercy, arriving like a gift you never knew was being prepared for you, because you thought you were just helping. But the truth is, you were answering someone's dua. You were fulfilling a need Allah chose you to fulfill. You were seen by the one who never stops watching, and now you will be helped by the one who never stops giving. 5. The delay you feel is the mercy you don't see yet. You've been waiting, quietly, patiently, desperately. You've whispered du'as that no one knows about. You've stared at the ceiling long after midnight, asking questions your heart is too tired to say out loud. You've told yourself, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe one more Ramadan. But here you are, still waiting, still aching, still holding on to something that hasn't arrived yet. And maybe now, you're wondering if it ever will. You see people around you move forward. They get the job, they find the spouse, they receive the good news, and you sit in silence, with a smile that hides the question you ask every night. Ya Allah, what about me? But what if I told you that the delay isn't a punishment, that the delay isn't rejection? What if this silence, this long, endless pause in your story, is not Allah forgetting you, but Allah saving you? What if the very thing you call late is arriving at the only time it won't break you, because Allah knows the version of you that dua would reach if it came too early, and He also knows the version of you that will rise with honor when it comes at the perfect moment. He is not ignoring you. He is positioning you. He is not withholding. He is protecting. Because not every delay is a denial. Sometimes a delay is mercy wearing a disguise, and only the soul that trusts Allah can see it for what it really is, a redirection, not a rejection. You see, when a dua is pure, it's never erased. It's either answered or it's being built into something better. Maybe you asked for the door, and Allah is building you into the one who walks through it without breaking. Maybe you asked for love, and Allah is still healing you from the kind that nearly destroyed you. Maybe you asked for peace, and Allah is teaching your heart how to let go of what keeps stealing it. Maybe you asked for success, but He knows your soul isn't ready to carry that kind of weight without collapsing, and so He delays. But this delay isn't empty. It's filled with wisdom. It's filled with preparation. It's filled with the kind of construction only Allah can do inside a soul. There are things inside you that only grow in silence. There are wounds in you that only heal when things slow down. There are parts of your faith that only strengthen when you're forced to sit alone with Allah. So if it feels like nothing is happening, look again. Because maybe what you call nothing is actually the everything that matters most. The strengthening, the stretching, the softening, the preparing, the protecting. Because if the thing you begged for came earlier, it may have become the very thing that shattered you. And Allah, the one who shaped you in your mother's womb, knows exactly when your heart can carry what you asked for, without it breaking you. So He waits. He holds it back, not out of cruelty, but out of infinite mercy. Because the delay is not just about the thing you want. It's about the person you're becoming while you wait for it. And Allah, He is never late. He sees the timing you don't. He sees the future you can't. He sees the storm that's ahead and the strength you'll need to survive it. That's why He slows it down. That's why He pauses. That's why He holds you still, even when your heart is begging to move. Because sometimes stillness is protection, and sometimes delays are doors disguised as silence. So if you've been feeling forgotten, if your heart is tired of waiting, if your soul is secretly asking, Ya Allah, have you left me behind? The answer is no. You were not left. You were not skipped. You were not overlooked. You are being watched, prepared, protected, because Allah does not delay, unless the delay itself is mercy. And when the time is right, when your soul is finally strong enough, when your chest is wide enough to hold what's coming, it will arrive. Not rushed, not broken, not partial, but perfect. And you'll understand. You'll look back at the months, the years, the nights you cried into your pillow, and you'll whisper, Alhamdulillah for the delay. Alhamdulillah that it didn't come when I asked. Alhamdulillah that Allah knew better. Because what's coming to you now is not just what you wanted. It's what you were being built to carry. And that kind of gift can't be rushed. So keep trusting, keep walking, keep whispering your dua into the silence. Because Allah hears, Allah sees. And Allah never forgets a servant who waited with a heart full of faith. This delay is not the end. It's the quiet before a mercy so great. Your past pain will feel like a dream that no longer hurts. So breathe, wipe your tears. Keep praying, keep waiting, because what you call a delay is really just Allah's perfect timing in disguise. 6. When you carry others, Allah carries you in ways you can't see. You were the strong one, the dependable one, the one who people leaned on without ever asking if you were tired. They came to you with their storms, and you became shelter. They came to you with their pain, and you became medicine. You were the listener, the supporter, the healer, the comfort. You were the one who always said, "Don't worry, I've got you." Even when no one ever said that to you, you carried them, but no one carried you. And still, you didn't stop. You didn't say, "What about me?" You didn't complain. You didn't announce your exhaustion. You just kept showing up. For everyone. Every time. And maybe they thought you were just naturally strong. Maybe they believed you didn't need help. Maybe they didn't realize that behind your calm smile was a soul trembling from all the weight. Because you were carrying things that no one even knew about. You were carrying grief, but still made space for others' joy. You were carrying anxiety, but still helped calm others' fears. You were carrying heartbreak, but still helped others believe in love again. You were the one holding everyone else together, while quietly falling apart yourself. But listen closely now. Just because no human carried you doesn't mean you were uncared for, because Allah was carrying you all along. You just didn't see it. You didn't see how He sent you enough strength each morning to survive what you thought would break you. You didn't see how He sent just enough peace to stop your heart from drowning. You didn't see how every time you said, "I don't know how I'm doing this," the answer was, "Because I, your Lord, am lifting you." You see, when you carry others for His sake, He carries you in ways so quiet, so hidden, that you don't even realize it's happening. He doesn't always lift you with miracles. Sometimes He lifts you with moments. Moments that didn't destroy you. Moments that should have broken you, but didn't. Moments when the weight was too much, but somehow you kept walking anyway. That was Allah carrying you in the unseen, silently, faithfully, because the promise is real, and Allah is the ally of the doers of good. Quran 45:19. You helped His creation, so He helped you without you needing to ask. You listened to others' pain, while ignoring your own, and He sent angels to whisper comfort into your chest. You gave advice that you needed for yourself, and He wrote it down, as if you lived it completely. You wiped their tears, and He wiped sins from your book. You gave them direction, and He gave your soul hidden protection. You stayed when others left, and He stayed with you when you felt like no one else did. Every time you were there for someone, Allah made sure the reward reached you before it reached anyone else, even when you felt empty. He filled you with unseen barakah, even when you collapsed at night, feeling like you were alone. He was already surrounding you with mercy you couldn't feel yet. Because when you serve from a place of sincerity, you don't need to speak your pain. Allah sees it, and that's enough. He knows what you carried. He knows what you sacrificed. He knows how many days you held back your own tears just to help someone else stop theirs. And He doesn't let that go unreturned. The help you gave in secret became a shield over your own life. The words you offered in love became du'as written in the heavens. The strength you gave away became strength He poured back into you. But in a quieter, more sacred form. Not everyone saw how much you carried. But Allah saw every ounce, and that's why, even when the world walked past you, even when no one thanked you, even when the ones you carried forgot your name, you didn't fall apart. Because Allah was holding you, always, and He still is. Even now, as you listen to these words, with a tired heart and a soul that feels like it's barely standing, He is lifting you. He is refilling you. He is reminding you, I saw what you carried. I saw who you carried. I saw how no one carried you, except me. So don't regret being that person, the helper, the healer, the giver, the one who never asked for anything in return, because while others only saw what you gave, Allah saw what it cost you, and now He's returning it all. But not in the form of attention, not in shallow praise, not in likes or messages, Number. He's returning it as unseen protection, as unexpected peace, as quiet blessings that show up when you least expect them, as doors that open when you thought everything was closed. He's sending relief, not just for your pain, but for your patience. So let them forget. Let them stay silent. Let them move on. Your reward isn't in their hands. It never was. The one who carried you, when you didn't even know you needed to be carried, is still holding you now. And soon, he'll show you why the weight you carried was never too much for him to handle. 7. It's not a coincidence that you're watching this now. It's not random that you're here. It's not just a scroll. It's not just a video. It's something more. It's something sacred. Because out of all the things you could have clicked on, out of all the places your tired fingers could have gone, you stopped here and your soul leaned in. Why? Because maybe you've been waiting for a message that feels like it was made for you. And this might be that moment. You've spent weeks, maybe months, giving strength to everyone around you and wondering if anyone even sees you anymore. You've smiled through pain. You've stayed calm while breaking. You've answered calls while praying someone would call you. You've been strong in public and broken in private. You've healed others with your words and cried in silence afterward. And now, here you are, sitting with a heart that feels like it's carrying too much, in a body that's pretending everything's okay. But your soul, it knows. It's tired. It's searching. It's whispering, Ya Allah, I don't know how much more I can carry. And so Allah, in His mercy, sent this moment. Right now, right here, just for you. This isn't a coincidence. This is divine timing, because He knows how long you've been holding on. He knows how quiet your pain has been. He knows the nights you couldn't sleep, because your thoughts wouldn't stop screaming. He knows the weight in your chest that no one sees, the ache behind your smile, the secret doers you whispered, and then doubted if anyone heard them. But He heard. Wallahi, He heard. And maybe this video isn't just something you're watching. Maybe it's something He sent, because sometimes Allah speaks to us quietly, not through dreams, not through thunder, not through miracles, but through moments like this, moments where the screen feels like a mirror, moments where the words feel like they were pulled from your own heart, moments where you stop breathing for a second and think, wait, how do they know? It's not that we know, it's that Allah does, and He brings you to what you need, exactly when you need it most. You thought this was random. But Allah has no randomness. Every scroll, every pause, every second of delay that brought you here was orchestrated by the one who never misses a heartbeat. Because He knew you needed to hear that your tears weren't for nothing, that your weight isn't being ignored, that your kindness hasn't gone unseen, that your strength hasn't gone unrewarded. He knew you needed to feel seen, not by people, but by Him. So He brought you here, to this exact place, at this exact moment, to remind you, I never forgot you. I saw every second you kept going. And I am closer to you right now than you've ever realized. You didn't stumble here. You were guided. You didn't click randomly. You were chosen. Because this isn't just a video, it's a pause, a divine interception, a whisper from the heavens, to remind you you matter. Your pain matters. Your efforts matter. Your unseen kindness matters. Your tired smile matters. Your secret sacrifices matter. And most of all, your name is known in the heavens. You've been held this whole time by a Lord who never stops watching, never stops listening, never stops loving, even when the world forgot. He didn't. Even when you felt invisible, he saw you. Even when you had no words left. He heard what your heart was too tired to say, and now in this quiet moment, he's giving you exactly what you've been craving. Not money, not solutions, not answers, but reassurance, because that's what the soul needs most. Before any miracle arrives, the certainty that Allah is still near, and He is. Wallahi, He is. So stay here. Let your soul breathe again. Let your heart unclench. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind. You are not unseen. This moment, this very video, is proof that Allah still remembers your name. He saw how long you held it together, and now He's sending you what you didn't even know how to ask for, divine company. So let the tears fall. Let the silence speak. Let your chest finally admit, I needed this. Because you did, and Allah knew, and that is why you're here. 8. Allah's help is coming quietly, just like you helped others. You helped them quietly, without announcement, without noise, without asking anything in return, and now the help coming to you will arrive in the same way, quietly, gently, sacredly, because Allah never forgets the hearts that helped others. Without needing to be seen, you didn't shout your kindness, you didn't post your compassion, you didn't beg for recognition, you just showed up, softly, steadily. Again and again, you answered when others didn't. You gave when it wasn't convenient. You stayed when staying cost you your energy, your peace, your time. You whispered back to someone crying in silence, because you knew what silence felt like. And no one clapped. No one noticed. No one said, "You saved me." But you did. And more than one soul in this world is breathing easier today because of a moment you thought was small, because of a message you sent, because of a smile you gave, because of the way you said, "It's okay, I'm here," when you had no one saying that to you. And now, it's your turn. But the help that's coming, it won't be loud, it won't be flashy, it won't announce itself, because the kind of giving you did is the kind of giving Allah responds to, with subtlety, with mercy, with divine precision. The help is coming through the small things, the friend you didn't expect, suddenly checking in, the message that arrives, when your heart feels too heavy to breathe, the money that appears, just before the bill is due, the decision you didn't know how to make, suddenly becoming clear after a good night's sleep. That's help, that's Allah, that's what mercy looks like, when it's made just for you. You didn't need attention, you didn't need applause, you didn't need credit, so the help you receive won't be for show, it'll be for healing, it'll be for peace, it'll be for the soul, because your heart gave in secret, and Allah returns that kind of giving with a love so deep, so quiet, that only your soul can hear it. You may not realize it right away, you may not see it coming, but one day soon, you'll sit in your room, you'll take a deep breath, and for the first time in a long time, you'll feel like you're okay. You won't know how it happened. You won't be able to explain it, but you'll feel it. A heaviness gone, a wound healed, a fear quieted, a prayer answered. And that's when you'll realize, this is the help I never saw coming. This is the return I never asked for out loud. This is what Allah was building in silence. This is my reward, because the one who saw what no one else saw is now helping you in ways no one else understands. You won't need to tell the world. You won't need to explain your healing, Because it won't be for the world. It will be between you and the one who healed you. You helped them without expectation, without echo, without spotlight. So he helps you with gifts so intimate, so personally timed. You'll know it came from no one but him. And what he sends will always fit perfectly. You gave calm. Now calm will find you. You gave safety. Now safety is being written into your days. You gave love. Now love will return in its purest form, not as noise, but as nur. A light that settles in your bones, a softness that returns to your eyes, a knowing that says, I didn't do it for the world, but the Lord of the worlds saw me anyway. And he saw you. He saw the day you stayed awake for someone else's peace. He saw the day you gave money and went without lunch yourself. He saw the day you texted encouragement when you were the one crying. And now he's sending it all back, not through the people you gave to, not through applause, but through moments that feel like answers, moments that feel like warmth, moments that feel like, I'm finally okay again. That's Allah's help, the help that comes the same way you gave, quietly, purely, powerfully. So don't doubt what's unfolding. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's empty. Just because it's slow doesn't mean it's forgotten. Just because it's hidden doesn't mean it's not happening. Your soul is being rebuilt, the same way you helped rebuild others, in silence, in softness, in sacred quiet. Because what you thought was small was massive in the unseen, and what Allah sends in return is always bigger than the giving. So now, walk into your next season with open hands. Let the help arrive. Let the peace return. Let the weight fall away. Because when you helped them, Allah was writing your help in the background. And now, it's your time to receive, and it will arrive. Not with noise, but with nur. So if you've been waiting quietly, loving silently, and helping without being helped, know this. Allah never forgets the hands that gave. While trembling, He never ignores the hearts that loved while breaking, and He never abandons the soul that stayed soft in a world that kept wounding it. You didn't give for attention, you gave for Him, and He never lets that kind of love return empty. So hold on, beloved soul. Your reward isn't just coming, it's already written, and when it arrives, it won't just fill your hands. It will heal everything you never told anyone was broken. You helped others. Now Allah is helping you. And this time, it will come without pain. It will come with peace.